Are you getting sick and tired of all of your characters ending up with maxed out speech, guns and medical skills, resulting in the same playthroughs with the same choices and the same outcomes every single time? Then why don't you give one of these two role-playing builds a try to spice things up? Number 1. The sweet little psychopath. The goal: create a female character and make her look adorable. On every interaction, be as helpful and sympathetic as possible, until the very first possible opportunity arises in which you can either betray them, unalive them, or make the most unethical and deranged decision possible. The rules: every first interaction with an NPC must be as friendly as possible. There can be no obvious evil choices or lure out fights. You are not a fighting character. You want to pretend to be useless in the face of dialogue, not someone who goes around intimidating people. You can only use stealth attacks and single-hand weapons, so no shotguns, assault rifles, launchers, etc. You only know how to use knives and pistols. You have to take the cannibal perk at the earliest possible opportunity, because duh. And last but not least, there can be no hunting or skinning animals for food and money. For the special stats, I like to make this character very high in perception, agility and intelligence to really emphasize how much of a devious and sneaky genius she actually is. And also very low in endurance and strength, because once again, you're not a typical all-around powerhouse. For the perks, as mentioned previously, take cannibal the second you can, because, well, what screams psychopath more than being a cannibal? You'll need both Black Widow and Cheres La Femme to persuade both of the sexes to do whatever you want, and for shits and giggles, I would definitely pick the Wild Wasteland perk as well. Day Tripper can be cool as well, just to have your character space balls 24/7, and good natured is pretty fitting role-playing wise and actually pretty handy dialogue wise. Skills: you need high speech, science, lockpicking and sneak, as you're going to be doing quite a lot of talking and also sneaking around quite a lot in places you're not supposed to. I like this build the most out of all of my builds because it really makes you look at New Vegas from a new angle. Normally in games, good and evil is a very black and white concept, but in New Vegas you have the opportunity to help everybody only to suddenly betray them out of nowhere or wait until they're alone and, well, without the game punishing you for it. On top of that, you're not doing this for financial or political gain or something like that. You're sincerely making the worst decisions imaginable because you want to see the world burn. But the trick is to wait until the last possible second before you show your true colors. And then, when people realize there's something severely wrong with you, it's already too late. I found myself getting more and more absorbed in this role the farther I got into the game, with a character that ended up drinking out of questionable places while completely normal options were available, or sleeping on the streets while hotel rooms were simply across the street. You'll find yourself in plenty of scenarios where you're gonna have to rely on companions or things like stealth boys to make it through areas because you can forget taking on 10, 15 or 20 enemies on your own. Remember, you can also not hunt or skin animals for their hides and food. You don't have to fine-tune skills for that. You just know you like to stab people. In any case, if sneaking around or being absolutely bonkers evil isn't your thing, you can try something a bit more nuanced with the other build. Meet Two-Face. You can headcanon this character any way you like, but the way I like to imagine it is him having been part of like a gang or roaming the wasteland with a tight group of friends, only to lose all of them either due to a betrayal or a rivalry with another gang, something like that. In any case, they're all dead and you're the only one left. Combine this with the brain scrambling you received from Benny at the start of the game, and this left the poor soul with a severe case of PTSD, resulting in him sincerely trying to be the best possible man he can be, but sometimes, often without any indication, he just snaps and his alter ego will come out. If you've played Baldur's Gate 3, you can essentially compare it to the Dark Urge. The rules: on random intervals in the game, you have to switch up your entire personality. This could be things like going from completely straight edge to consuming all of the drugs and booze in your inventory, or fully supporting the NCR to fully supporting the Legion out of nowhere. This could be in the middle of missions, after you've waking up, even in the middle of a conversation. Honestly, get creative. Because you're not a bad guy, just confused. Which also means you can't steal or murder without reason. You just have a very short fuse and the slightest thing can set you off. A great example of this is if you manage to free the Great Khans in Boulder City, only for the NCR to announce that they're gonna kill them anyway. You put your last bit of faith in the general to make the righteous call, only for him to blindly follow his employers, which you do not like at all. This also means you have to do it at moments it makes the least amount of sense. I recommend using something like a coin flipper. You can find those pretty pretty easily online, just like the actual Two-Face. Or, as I just mentioned, you can wait until that one particular comment or moment that just pisses you off, or after waking up after a good night's rest. For the perks, you're definitely gonna want to grab Terrifying Presence, as it's essentially the only perk that opens up a fight directly from dialogue, and it just fits the character very well. Typical fighting perks like Commando and Quick Draw will also be very handy, as you're gonna spend a lot of time fighting. For the role-playing aspect, you can grab either the Mysterious Stranger or Miss Fortuna, because, well, perhaps one of Two-Face's old gang members is still watching over him, saving his ass from time to time. The quite literal perk, Two-Face, ironically doesn't do too much, and it's part of the more perks mod anyways, but you can give it a go if you like, or if you think it's fitting. Strength and endurance make the most amount of sense. You can honestly divide the rest however you like, but I like to keep my intelligence kept off at 4, just so that when I start downing the wrong type of consumables, my intelligence skills sink low enough to turn me into a low intelligence character, which seems very fitting for someone who just had his brain scrambled. Skills wise, I aim for anything fight focused, so guns, energy weapons, explosives all come first. For this run I keep things like science and lockpicking kinda low to make it harder for myself, but if you don't want to do that, definitely put points into that together with things like repair to recycle ammo. I really like this playthrough because it's simply very tough. With the right amount of fine-tuning mods, you really have to scrape by for caps and ammo. And because you'll end up failing missions due to your shaky mental stability, when you reach the end game you won't be like level 25 maxed out and everything. I didn't want to make lengthy detailed videos about this because I like to leave a lot for interpretation, because yeah, you can play these characters however you like. I'm just spitballing some ideas here. But by any means, please let me know in the comments what your favorite builds are. Maybe I'll give them a go or make a video about it, because I'm always looking for new ideas. In any case, short little video here about my 2 favorite builds. Go out there, have fun. If you have questions, let me know. I'll drop the mod list that I used in these videos in the description, and yeah, see ya.